Welcome to Advocacy in Motion. I'm your host, Tommy Finn, and we are here each week to give a vision and a voice to nonprofit organizations and individuals making an impact in our community. And before I introduce our guest today, I want to say thank you to our presenting sponsor, Niagara Conservation. Niagara Conservation is a leading manufacturer of cost-saving, money-saving plumbing products, and they're especially proud of the work they do with nonprofit affordable housing units such as the Volunteers of America Oaks Project in the Oak Cliff District of Dallas. But now the good news is these cost-saving plumbing products are available to everyone and every homeowner in the area. And here's my partner, Tricia Glowacki, to tell you all about these new money-saving plumbing products.
Thanks, Tommy, and thanks, Niagara, for your continuing support of nonprofit organizations. If you want to get the ultimate experience in cleanliness and comfort without breaking the bank and transform your bathrooms, Niagara. From toilets to bidets, Niagara has the perfect solution for any bathroom project. Niagara's award-winning products not only outperform competitors, but they also outdesign them. Thanks to innovations like stealth technology, Niagara's products can use half as much water as the competitors, providing you with a solution that will help the environment and save you money. Shop now on Amazon or HomeDepot.com.
My guest today is Imelda Aguirre. She is the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Manager of the Dallas Northeast chapter of Alzheimer's Association. I get that right?
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Well, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us. Tell us first a little bit about your role and how you got involved with the Alzheimer's Association.
Sure, and thank you so much for having us, or having me today. My role is diversity, equity, inclusion work, so we really try to make connections in the community, especially with organizations that align with our vision and that would like to help us in reaching more people with the message of Alzheimer's and dementia, and establishing those important relationships. It's really important to us and as well as our organization.
I know you guys do great work in the community. Let's start with the basics a little bit. Tell us a little bit about, what is Alzheimer's, what is dementia, how are they together?
They're words that are together all of the time, so it could be confusing for somebody to understand what is the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia. Alzheimer's is a type of dementia. There's several different types of dementia. You may have heard of frontotemporal dementia with Bruce Willis, or there's vascular dementia. There's also mixed dementia. Someone can have Alzheimer's and vascular dementia, for example. So there's all different kinds of dementia. And dementia itself, it's more like a general term. It's like as if I were to say, I have cancer. Well, what kind of cancer do you have? Breast cancer, brain cancer. So dementia is a general term that describes just various symptoms of memory loss, but it affects memory, thinking, and problems with being able to just live your daily life. It's memory loss that interferes with daily living. So Alzheimer's is the most common type of dementia, and that's why they're talked about very closely. About 60 to 80% of people that have dementia have Alzheimer's.
Okay. Now you're the Alzheimer's Association. Tell us something about your mission and how you guys work in the community.
Sure. Our mission is really to eliminate Alzheimer's disease and all other dementias by research, care and support, and being able to provide fundraising for families that really need our support and individuals that are diagnosed. And I'm sorry, what was the second part of your question?
Just your general mission, overall mission of the association.
Yeah, the general mission is really ending Alzheimer's disease. We really, that's our goal, is to see the first survivor of Alzheimer's disease is what we would like.
That's just a terrific goal to have. What do people look for? What are some of the early signs of the disease, and what do people look for?
Well, it's the very first sign of dementia or Alzheimer's is memory loss. And it's the memory loss that really interferes with daily living, like I mentioned. So we all forget things. I mean, that's very common, whether as a young individual or as we're aging, we all forget things. But the difference is that we can usually remember later. If we forget, we'll remember. But somebody that is dealing with this disease cannot remember. They have a really hard time. They get confused. They can also get confused or disoriented. So memory loss, again, is one of the very first signs but it's more of a profound type of loss.
I know you have a terrific website that people can go to, and we'll give them all the information for that gives a lot more information of things to look for and next steps and whatever. So we want to encourage people to do that. Do we have any idea what causes Alzheimer's?
There's not one single cause that links to Alzheimer's or dementia. It's really several factors. It could be lifestyle, it could be genetics, family history, but we know for sure that age is the number one risk factor of Alzheimer's or dementia. So anyone, and no matter what race or what background they have, after the age of 65, everyone is an increased risk of dementia or Alzheimer's. But of course, other factors do play in: genetics, family history, lifestyle. Social determinants also are included. So it's a mixture of all of these things.
So are there ways to lower those risks? You said it's kind of comes with age, but is there things we can do to help?
Absolutely. No matter what age you are, even if you are 65 or older, there are things that we could do every day to reduce our risk of dementia, Alzheimer's. So one thing for sure is, what we like to say a lot is, everything that you do that is good for your heart is also good for your brain. So if you're exercising, eating well, managing your stress, sleeping well, all of those things do take into account as we're aging and reducing our risk of Alzheimer's and dementia. So certainly taking a look at your lifestyle, all of those things, again, that you do that are good for your heart are certainly good for your brain.
That's interesting, because I've never heard the comparison for the two for that. So what advice would you give to people who may think someone in their family showing signs, and we say, is it something to worry about, or is it just the fact that I'm getting older and forgot where I put my car keys?
Yeah, it's a misconception that as we age that we should be losing our memory. That's not true. We should be able to live till 90 and recognize all of our family and friends and recognize objects just as well. Now, as we age, of course, things will be forgotten. We will lose memory, but again, we should be able to remember later if we do forget something. So if you see that a family member is struggling with remembering things, or they may leave a lot of notes around, to help them, or they may need family or friends to help them remember things, just general, things that anyone should be remembering. One thing to do is certainly use our helpline to ask any questions or any observances that you may see. Our helpline, it's a 24-hour helpline, and we'll give the number in a moment, but master clinicians answer that line, and they can guide you to just kind of ask and probe some questions, because one thing we don't want to do is go up to somebody and say, hey, I think you're losing your memory, because that could be really, that could really make someone not want to open up and get help. It could make someone isolate themselves even more. So we have to be careful about how we approach somebody with memory loss. And we have tips on what you can say, what you can do to talk to family and friends. But definitely go to our website, alz.org, look for what are some of the signs. Some of the signs, may, if you're seeing some of the signs, it doesn't mean that they have Alzheimer's or dementia, but it means, get them help, get it checked out definitely with a doctor. So again, use our helpline, use our website, and we can help guide to the next steps.
Well, I know there's been some great breakthroughs in research, and I know there's a new drug on the market. Tell us about it and where that's going.
Yeah, so Leqembi is probably the one that you've heard about. It's the second FDA-approved treatment for Alzheimer's, and what this will do is allow someone that is diagnosed in the early stage to get more time. So it doesn't cure. Unfortunately, it's not a cure. It doesn't necessarily reverse the disease, but it gives somebody more time to be able to have memories and plan for their future, and be able to, really, it's really something that people with Alzheimer's and dementia don't have is time. Some folks can live up to 20 years, some 5 years. It varies for each person. Each person really experiences dementia, Alzheimer's differently. But we know that because there is currently no cure, that we know that it's a fatal disease. And what this drug is doing is allowing that person to have more time.
Okay, very good. Now, I know there's some things I saw about diverse communities, how they're affected by Alzheimer's. I know it's not a social or economic disease. How does that work? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, and it's such an important question because diverse communities actually are impacted by the social and economic factors. Okay. Absolutely, and that does impact their risk of getting dementia. So as it's the two populations that we're seeing that are hit the hardest are Latino Hispanics and Black African American communities. That's not to say other communities are also impacted, but Latinos are 1.5 times more likely. Black African Americans are 2 times more likely to get this disease. And again, we don't know exactly why, but we do know that it is there are many social determinants that are affecting these two populations. We've seen also in other chronic diseases such as heart disease or diabetes, they're also affected the highest. And with Alzheimer's disease, it's no different. They're impacted the highest, because of those issues.
Now, your role as a DEI director, how are you interacting with this situation?
It's so important to us to really connect with organizations that are already serving these populations, because not only because we want to align with them and work together to eliminate this disease, to get the word out and get help and resources, but because we know not only just in Dallas but everywhere across the nation that there are populations that are suffering. The Latino, Black African American populations are suffering even more. So it's so important for us to connect with other organizations that are, like I said, already serving, but allowing us to be able to reach into these communities to get help and get support quicker. Because what we're seeing is, in these two populations, they're waiting until the very last stage of this disease to get help. And it's usually too late. The drug that I mentioned, Leqembi, that one only works if you're diagnosed and if you're diagnosed in the early stage. Mm-hmm. It will not work if you're waiting till the very last stage to get diagnosed. And many of these communities are waiting because they don't know the signs and they don't know where to get help.
Okay. When we come back, I want to take a break here and talk about one of our other sponsors a little bit.
Okay.
When we come back, I want to talk about the caregivers.
Yes.
I know that this disease affects everyone.
Absolutely.
One way or another. But right now, I want to thank Piranha Haven Energy, Wellness, and Gifts for the Soul in downtown Richardson. We've mentioned the many gifts for the soul, and you'll find there, but wellness is so important to everyone. You can take charge of your health by committing to the practice of relaxation and rejuvenation that Piranha Haven healing sessions provide. Healing energy can improve stress and anxiety levels, reduce physical and emotional pain, and improve the quality of sleep. Check out piranhahaven.com for all the gifts and the psychic readings you'll find there each week. And contact Terry, T-E-R-I, at piranhahaven.com to book your healing sessions. That's Terry, T-E-R-I, at piranhahaven.com. We mentioned the caregivers. Currently I believe there's something like over 400,000 Alzheimer's patients in Texas, with over 1 million caregivers. It affects family, friends, everyone. Tell us a little bit about how your association helps with the caregivers.
So the Alzheimer's Association provides support for these caregivers and these are caregivers that are not paid. These are family members that are caring for someone else that is dealing with this disease. Usually they're caring for them at home, or maybe their loved one is in a long-term care, or wherever they may be, they're still caregivers. And we provide support by offering support groups. Support groups is one example of how a caregiver can really just come to a safe place and just be able to vent and talk about some of the challenges that they have with other folks, and other folks know what they're going through in that group, so that it really helps to connect them. Over time, if a caregiver joins a support group, over time, they can help with lowering their stress and just being able to get other tips from other folks. So that's one example, caregiver support groups. We also offer early stage groups, which these are groups where the caregiver and their loved one that is in the early stage of Alzheimer's or dementia can go together to do an activity and just create memories together. So we have several organizations like, the Plano Memory Keepers is one, or also SMU. We partner with SMU to do some of these activities. And then some of the key resources for caregivers is really our helpline and our website. There's tools in there for those folks that they could use to help plan and to help guide them in this journey, because we know that it's so overwhelming for them to not only receive that diagnosis as a family member, but be able to navigate what their life is going to look like going forward.
Okay, we had talked a little bit earlier about our friend Jose Guzman, who used to be former Texas Ranger.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And he founded the Foundation 23 to support the families, because he knew from first experience his mother had it and what it takes to be a caregiver.
Mm-hmm.
So we really appreciate the work Jose has done in his Foundation 23 in recognizing that need. How can people get involved? I know you've got a great event coming up, the Walk to End.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that and how that's going.
Yes, thank you for asking that. We're really excited about the walk, and this is Walk to End Alzheimer's. The only reason that we can offer all of our care, support, and services for free is because of the Walk to End Alzheimer's. All across the nation, folks are gearing up to raise awareness and funds for Alzheimer's disease and research. So in the North Texas region, we have 7 walks. The one in Dallas is November the 4th. And for anybody that's in the Ellis or Waxahachie area, we also have one coming up over there. But these walks, thousands of people join, and you can walk a mile or a half a mile to, again, raise awareness, but also to show support for those caregivers and for all of the people that are dealing with this disease. We want you to know that you're not alone. We're here to support you and to provide, guidance on this journey, this very, very difficult journey.
Where is the walk? Where?
The one in downtown Dallas, it's at City Hall.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had one in...
Yes, in Ellis County. So that's going to be downtown Ennis.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, how can people donate, get involved? Tell us how to do that.
Well, certainly check out our website, which is alz.org. It's very easy, just 3 letters, alz.org. And you can find more information about the walks, more information about how to donate and get involved. What we would really like is to have volunteers to help us with, spread the word about Alzheimer's and dementia. So if you are someone in the community that would like to help, we would really appreciate that very much. We're always looking for great volunteers.
And if you're seeing or hearing this podcast, please share it. And
yes,
share it with your friends and stuff so we can get the word out more. We've talked about quite a few things, but what have I missed? What would you like to tell our audience about the association, about Alzheimer's, that we just,
I just really appreciate your time and having us here and being able to share what we do, our resources and support for families. I think, we did cover everything, but for those that, again, I think just going back to volunteering and being able to help us, this disease cannot end unless we are able to get support from the community, from people that would like to share the message about just the warning signs. It's basic information. So I strongly encourage you, seriously, if you'd like to be a volunteer and be able to provide information, education to your community, especially in the underserved communities that are really getting hit hard with this disease, please reach out to us. You don't have to be an expert on Alzheimer's and dementia. You can learn the 10 signs and then just share your knowledge with your friends and family. So reach out to us, alz.org, and our helpline, it's 1-800-272-3900. So feel free to reach out to our helpline as well.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you very much for being here. I want to thank our sponsors, Niagara and Piranha Haven, for allowing us to have this time to share your message.
Thank you so much.
So appreciate it, and good luck, and we'll hope to see you at the walk.
Thank you, Tommy. Yes, we
Thank
hope
you.
to see you too.
All right.
Thanks.